Good morning, Mary Sunshine. I didn't watch all my content, but I watched a good amount of my videos that I've made over, I don't know, the span of time that I started making videos. I watched them last night, like just before I went to sleep. And I'm like, God damn, I've got a lot of fucking content that ranges like a lot of different fucking space. And like, I don't know, it's just been a crazy time. You know, it may look like I'm making the content for you, but I really am making it for me, you know, so I can go back and look over like the stuff that I went through and, you know, obstacles that I overcame and, you know, how much I've grown and what's happened in my life and whatnot. But I don't know, it's just been a crazy time, you know? And I have such a bad memory, you know, I have a hard time remembering yesterday, so, like, going back over that content, especially, like, the Montana trip and shit, like, I forgot I even fell off the median, or I fell off the freeway, and, like, had to dig myself out of the snow and all that shit, like, and I, like, that took hours and hours, and, like, how frustrated and, like, cold and fucking, and how much pain that, put me through, and, like, physically and emotionally, and like, how much I had to work my mind to get through all that shit, and, like, so, I don't know, it's just, life is crazy, you know, and no matter what you go through, like, you gotta learn to, build on yourself. You gotta learn how to grow. And, if you don't, you'll always be stuck in the same place that you were, you know, yesterday. Whether you can remember or not. I don't know, life is crazy. Just, you know, I say God because that's what everybody relates to, you know, at this day and age is, you know, especially, you know, where the region that I'm in is like everybody relates to like the Christian God. But like a lot of the time when I say God, especially in like written word, I spell it G-A-U-D, and I'm like, sound it out, guy. And that's because I really believe that we as a nation and like really kind of as a world, like we worship a false idol that was made in the image of God. You know, he is advertised as like a jealous, you know, vengeful God and this and that. And like the God that I believe in, and the only way that they're vengeful, you know, he, she, they, whoever, you know, whatever it be, the only way that they are vengeful is like they love with a vengeance, you know. And the only way that they're jealous is that they are all knowing and all loving and, you know, all light entities. So they cannot experience the, you know, growth and struggles that we as a human race face. And that's why, I mean, in my opinion, that's why we were created, is so we could experience these things that, you know, the Most High cannot experience. You know, spirit source. I really like to refer to my God as spirit source, you know, like the creator of creators, you know. And you know, I really am thankful for all the trials and tribulations, all the obstacles, you know, and all the obviously good stuff that I've experienced and been through in my life. And that's just because, you know, if not for all those things, then I would not be the person that I am today. and I would not, know the profound truths that I know, have the profound knowledge that I have, and I would not continue to strive for more profound truths and knowledge. I would be, there's a saying, I forget who originally said it, but it's probably originally in the Bible, but there's a saying it's like, I feel sorry for the man with the easy life because he is not put in a position to have to learn, to have to grow. It is the man or the person with the hard life that is truly blessed because they're put in positions to learn things like ingenuity and love and, in that statement, I've got to say I'm truly blessed because I have not had an easy life. It has been a pretty big struggle from pretty much the very get-go, and I am I'm learning every day, and as hard as I thought I used to love. And I gotta say, I at least thought that I loved really fucking hard. Um, I I've got to say, I think I love even harder. At least 100% harder than I used to love. When I was a kid or a teenager, even in my 20s, like I've got to say that the way in which I showed my love and the way in which I felt my love, like it has grown at least 100%. And that had not happened if it wasn't for the trials and tribulations that I've faced, So if you're comfortable, fucking stop that shit. Give all your money away. Fucking go live in your car. Go live in your friend's car. Fucking learn how to grow. Learn how to love better. Learn how to do better. Learn how to be better. No matter what that means, I'm facing 7 years in the clink right now, and like hard time fucking prison, criminal college shit. And I gotta say that, like, right now, and this happens every day, like today is the best day that I've ever lived. I am doing the best that I have ever done, like every single day. Um, that's not to say that it doesn't come without its hardships or whatnot. That, like I said, hardships just force you to grow. They just help you be better, And there are some people that hardships and whatnot, they harden their heart, Like the Pharaoh hardens his heart when Moses and Aaron go to him and say, free my people. But eventually, I think everybody, I don't think there's an exception to this, and it shows when people are on their deathbed and they like pray to God on their deathbed. They're like, I've never believed in God, and I don't subscribe to that shit. And then they're fucking in the hospital alone and dying, and they confide in their only loved one. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to die and that be it, and they pray to God and then they almost immediately die. It's like at some point everybody's heart softens, unless if you're fucking some tough as nails son of a bitch, you just don't give a flying fuck. But like, I've never really heard of that, usually when it comes down to it, on their deathbed, people beg family to reconcile. They beg God to let them into the kingdom of kingdoms. They beg for people or their higher power or fucking whoever to forgive them of their sins, whatever their sins may be, whatever they consider their sins to be, you know? So I just encourage you to let your heart soften right now in the present moment, you know? Be the bigger person. Not because it looks good or fucking because, you know, the reward is there or, you know, because the promise of the future, but because it does yourself good, you know. It softening your heart really is the key to salvation for yourself, you know. Not even talking about a higher power or anything. Like they say, like forgiveness is, you know, set yourself free or whatnot. I don't think a lot of people know what that means, you know. They say, oh well, I forgive you, but they still have a hard heart towards that person. You know, you gotta soften your heart and have your own like hail to Jesus moment, for lack of a better phrase, you know. But I don't know. I found this hat at Corpus Christi. It's like the day shelter for town. I forget his name. I want to say it's Scott. I'm not sure, but I just remember the dude that introduced me to him called him Pops. But he was a really cool guy. He like washed my stuff while I took a shower. It was the first shower I've had in weeks. It felt fucking phenomenal. And he like showed me around, introduced me to a couple people, had someone watch my phone, and he watched my stuff, like he showed me where this hat was and whatnot, and I saw it and I was like, instantly I was like, that's my dig right there. And fucking I'll show it, check it out, like, because I'm meant to for a higher purpose. Like, together we can, you know, when it comes to the tyranny of the government, when it comes to the seduction of the darkness, you know, when it comes to hard times, like people living in their car or their friend's car, or fucking on the streets, sleeping on the sidewalks, in homeless shelters, you know, no matter what the obstacle is, you know, together we can. So I'm here to recruit. I'm here to, you know, find all those people that are living in darkness and show them, you know, you can come to the light. It's not too late. It's never too late. You know, I've worked, you know, I've operated in darkness before. You know, I used to come at people from a place of judgment and fear and, you know, I guess for lack of a better word, hate. But you know, if you knew me, you know, back when, I'm sure you knew that, you know. I've done some pretty fucked up shit. But it's never too late to repent and come to the light. You know. And repent doesn't just mean, you know, I'm sorry, I'll try not to do that again. It means like recognizing within yourself that was fucked up for me to do, and I'm gonna do my goddamnedest to avoid doing that kind of shit again. You know, I repent. And you know, it's never too late to come to light. And that's why I give these people that I know have crossed me, you know, time and time again. I know that they're, you know, they smile on my face and they shake my hand and they laugh at jokes with me and shit, but they really, you know, wish me to fail. And they do fucked up shit behind my back, you know, up to and including lay obstacles in my way, call authorities on me, talk shit about me, to known associates, fucking laugh at my struggles, laugh at my faith. I know that this is happening. Like, I talk to God. I'm either getting messages. We either live in a simulation, and I'm getting messages from source code, like advanced AI within the simulation, or like this is the real world, and fucking straight spirit source sends me messages. Like, I know what's going on. I'm not ignorant, and I don't ignore these messages. What I'm doing is I'm giving these people that operate in darkness chance and chance again, because I know, I've been told that the battle has already been won, man. The light is destined to win. Truth, love, and light, it was meant to win. It was written in the stars before stars were a thing, that the light is going to succeed. The light is going to be victorious. The only reason it's got so bad in the here and now and in the heavens, because our material world only mirrors what's going on in the heavens. The only reason that it's gotten so bad and that darkness thinks that they have a grip on the light, that, they've got a hand up, that they actually gonna be victorious. The only reason that that's a thing right now is so the victory of the light will be undeniable. It will be outright victory. From then on, forevermore. No more darkness whatsoever. It will be so profound that everybody, everything, every entity, every energy that has ever worked in darkness will have no choice but to admit defeat. And if you believe in, like, vibration and energy and whatnot, like, see, I believe that the earth is splitting into a high vibrational earth and a low vibrational earth. And the high vibrational earth is going to turn into the kingdom of kingdoms, God's heaven or whatever. The low vibrational earth is going to turn into 24/7, 365 world war. Civil war, country against country, on a worldwide level, everybody stuck in a low vibrational world is going to be under fire, under hellfire, constantly. No escape from it. No sleep, no rest, no peace. And those people that go to the high vibrational world, they're not gonna have to fuck around with money. They're not gonna have to do jobs they don't want to do. Like, everybody's just gonna do whatever they want, and that doesn't mean that there's not gonna be work to be done. Like, people are still gonna have to toil a little bit, but they're gonna be toiling, like, doing shit that they want to do. It's not gonna be considered work to them. It's gonna be, they're gonna be doing shit that they like to do that just happens to benefit the rest of society. Ain't nobody gonna charge money for things. There's not gonna be chemicals sprayed on any of our food. Like, there's not gonna be death or sickness. Like, the roads will literally and metaphorically be paved in gold. Like, it will be the kingdom of kingdoms. So you got to decide, if you've watched this all the way through, till now, you've got to decide, do you want to live on that low vibrational earth, or do you want to ascend? Do you want to become your best self and live where there is no strife, because it really is up to you as an individual. Anyway, I fucking just woke up and I'm preaching. Hey man, I mean, maybe I should start a ministry. I've been getting messages. I should start a ministry. Maybe I should fucking do that. In any case, you are loved. You are important. You make a difference. Much love. Stay good. God bless.